Hey everyone, welcome to the Howl Off Topic. Today I'll be talking about the recent Nintendo Switch conference that occurred in Japan last night in January. Now, I want to take this video to talk about how tone deaf Nintendo is and just the mistakes they're making over and over again. They haven't learned their lesson from the Wii and they haven't learned their lesson from the Wii U. Nintendo came out with this conference. They held it in Japan, which was mistake number one. They should have held it in the US, New York City, San Francisco. The Japanese video game market, especially the console market, isn't that big anymore. I mean, the US, Northern Europe, UK, Canada, those are the big video game markets, and those are the markets Nintendo needs to capitalize on. This awkward, terrible translated conference was awful. The translators for the developers and even the Nintendo spokespeople were just abysmal. And that's not even getting to the system itself and the game lineup. The launch lineup for this thing, oh man, the launch lineup for the Switch is Zelda, 1-2 Switch, which isn't even coming bundled with the system, unlike Wii Sports. Wii Sports was a huge hit because it came with every Wii. Most people didn't buy any other game. They just had Wii Sports and they were happy with it because it was casual fans. Just came right out of the box. No one's gonna pay $50 for 1-2 Switch. It's just another gimmick. Nintendo was riding this gimmick with their systems lately ever since the Wii. I mean, they're promoting HDR vibrations that make it seem like there's ice cubes in your controller. They spent 5 minutes displaying how you can feel water and ice in the palm of your hand to make it more immersive in games. Well, sure, I want to be more immersive in games, but when you have no games for your system, how am I going to be immersed? It's just, they tried. The problem with Nintendo ever since the Wii was third party support. That's why everyone dropped off the Wii and stopped buying games for the Wii, and that's why no one bought the Wii U, and the sales are dramatically different compared to the Wii. There's no third-party support. Casual fans took their Wiis and then ran away from Nintendo. They weren't loyal to Nintendo, and Nintendo's trying to get them back. Instead of just realizing all that gamers want is just games, games, games. They should have came out with this conference and be like, hey, the first year, first 18 months, we're gonna have a new Metroid, a new Mario, new Zelda, new Donkey Kong, new Star Fox, new Mario Kart. Let's re-release Super Smash Bros. From the Wii U, add new characters, add new maps. That's all they had to do. And they did none of that. We've known Zelda exists for like 3 or 4 years. We know it's going to be good. There's no reason to buy a Switch for Zelda anymore. It's coming out for the Wii U, and there's no other games to buy. So there's no incentive to ditch your Wii U and buy the Switch. You're gonna buy Zelda day one, and then after that, you literally have nothing until the holiday season for Mario, which looked odd. That trailer looked very awkward with Mario in New York City with human beings. They gave me like a Sonic Dreamcast vibe, like Sonic Adventure, which I love. But you know, that Mario game will most likely be good. So you're looking from March to December as Zelda and Mario as your two titles for the Switch. I mean, there's Splatoon 2, but that literally looks like Splatoon 1. There's not much of a jump to justify someone new jumping into the franchise. It's not like Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2, where the difference is so visual and you can tell the gameplay is it's much tighter. The character models are more realistic, more open environments, more varied gameplay. Splatoon 2 literally just looks like Splatoon 1. They're just in an arena shooting goo at each other or slime. And there's a new weapon they spent 5 minutes talking about, which flew over my head. So the Switch isn't going to be a successful console. Sure, it'll be like the Wii U. The first weekend, first 2 weeks, people will go out and buy it just for Zelda. Then after that, the sales are going to drop again. No third party support. The one third party game they're pushing for is Skyrim, which is coming out holiday 2017. So a full 6 years later from the original Skyrim that came out on PS3 and 360. That's it's embarrassing, to be honest. I mean, Nintendo is stuck in this world where they're trying to get casual fans but also appeal to the hardcore, but it's just not working. This is not going to be another hardware failure for Nintendo. I don't know how many they can take. The Wii U, the Switch, even the GameCube and N64, their sales were worse than the predecessors. I mean, if you take out the Wii out of the equation, every Nintendo console since SNES has been declining. And I think the Wii was one of the worst things that happened to Nintendo because they saw that huge spike in sales and like, this is what we need to keep on doing. But they don't realize that casual fans have no loyalty to video games. They're just looking for the next thing to distract them from their time. It's not like Sony or Microsoft where they get you in and you're there for like 6, 7 years buying games, paying for online. I mean, Nintendo's even offering paid online. Who's gonna pay for Nintendo Online? Their infrastructure is laughably bad compared to PS Plus and Xbox Live. I just can't even imagine. The controllers for the Switch are $80 for both of those little fucking joysticks. In Canada, that's probably going to be $90 to $100. The price point for the Switch, $299. You can get a PS4 bundled with Uncharted 4 or the Uncharted collection for $249. In Canada, the Switch will be $399. Just not worth it at all. It's just a tone deaf company. It's frustrating. I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, but the GameCube is one of my favorite consoles of all time. Just the memories of Melee, Metroid Prime, Star Fox Adventures, playing NHL, Resident Evil 4. They had a third party support. They had amazing exclusive like Sunshine, and it was just a great console. And then it's not even the third party developers' fault. I mean, the Nintendo's giving no incentives for the third party developers to develop for their console. It's like the developers are like, you have no install base, you have no third party support from other developers. So why are we going to come in, waste our resources, porting it to an inferior machine in the Switch, and we're not going to get our money back? They're better off just staying out of the whole Nintendo ecosystem, just focus on PS4 and the Xbox One. I think this is the nail in the coffin for Nintendo. They're not going to come back from this. And like two hardware consoles in a row, almost three, where it's just a complete failure. The Wii sales wise wasn't a failure, but software wise and attach rate wise, huge failure. I think Nintendo just the future I see and which I hope is where Nintendo just sells its games on PS4 or PS sells their games to Sony, sells their games to Microsoft. You can play Mario, play Super Smash Brothers on your PlayStation and Xbox console, and they make money. They need to get away from this hardware game. Everything the 2.5 hours of battery life to 6 hours. Yeah, right. I'm playing Zelda for 6 hours on that thing. They even came out and said Zelda will last 3 hours on the Switch handheld off the dock. So, I mean, that's not enough. I hope they still continue to develop for the 3DS because if they just focus on the Switch and discard the 3DS, they're in big, big trouble. So I'm not buying the Switch. I feel like it's a misstep for Nintendo. They could have really took this console and done something good with it. Bring back all the lapsed Nintendo fans. They should have came out with games like Sony's been doing, like Microsoft been doing. They both know the message. All us gamers, all we want is games. We don't want gimmicks. And Nintendo is still stuck in that gimmicky era, and it's just sad to see how tone deaf they are. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support.